right, so Sparking Conversations episode 7, and today we're going to talk about XRP and what's going on with XRP. It has gone insane. I checked today. Today's Saturday the 10th, and I think it was like at $1.30 or something. And I feel really bad about this because I told my boss when it was down at like 17 cents to sell it because it was a pile of garbage. and now every time I talk to him, he's like, "How about XRP? How about that raise?"
All right. Yeah.
So what's
What
going
about
on?
you? Did
You
you pick
know?
any up? Did you pick any up? Or
No, I haven't yet. No.
talked about it yesterday.
Yeah. I
Tried to get
talk.
you in.
I know. I talk a lot and then do a little. I'm waiting to sell something in real life, so I can buy a bunch of stuff. Um, so yeah, it's at $1.30 ish.
It's at $1.30-ish. Yes.
Any idea why?
Uh no, not really. I mean, they're in the middle of a lawsuit, and like I was trying to tell you the other day, if they're in the middle of like litigation, and the
Right.
price still went up like 3x in that time span. Can't be ignored, really. And it does have utility. I know that you're not a fan of it. And I'm
Yeah,
like, take it or leave it. At one point in time, I had like 10,000 of them, but
a lot.
that's it. It's worked out for me. You know what I mean? I'm there's a lot of the maximalist when it comes to XRP.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, I was thinking about my prejudice against XRP. And like I'm the guy that hates things for stupid reasons. So
Mm.
so it's XRP is Ripple. Pretty sure that the wine that Lieutenant Dan was drinking in Forrest Gump was called Ripple. That's probably my reason. That's dumb.
Well, it's the banker's coin, and you're
Yeah.
a hardcore. I try not to. It does have utility. It still is one of the fastest cryptos, and that says something.
Right. Well, I
And
mean, what I'm sending now, I'm looking at like Stellar and XRP now. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just I think like at one point in time, people were saying if the government adopted a coin, that would be the one that they would adopt, and I didn't like that. Like I don't want any part of that, but I think it's coming, and there's nothing I can do about it. So
yeah, it was either that or Stellar, or maybe a combination of the two.
right,
Which are the things that I find kind of odd is I used to follow the XRP quite a lot,
right,
and they're the ones that are always rubbing elbows with the SEC and with the World Economic Forum and Christine Lagarde, and they're the IMF, and they're always there. They're the only kind of crypto way back in 2017, 18, 19 that were going to these meetings. And the one thing that I did find odd is you know who founded XRP, right? Or one
I
of the
don't
founders. No, well, there's a guy named Jed McCaleb. You don't know anything about him or nothing?
know.
No,
Tell
see,
me a
you
story.
gotta do your homework, man.
Time for homework.
Jeez. Anyway, he's the guy that owns Stellar now,
Okay.
and he co-founded XRP and had kind of like a falling out with them and kind of went in his own route. And when he did that, he got an ungodly amount of XRP that he could only sell so much per month for 7 years or something like that. And he's also the founder of the Mount Gox.
I didn't know that.
So you got like XRP and Mount Gox are like the two kind of, aside from Silk Road, they're kind of the two things that are frowned upon for
Yeah.
crypto. But he founded Mount Gox and then ended up selling it to somebody else, and then that big mess kind of happened afterwards. But I find it really odd that this guy always seems to slip out the back when something sketchy happens. You know, but why is he not? If Brad, one the CEO of Ripple is Brad Garlinghouse, and the other guy's the owner, and they're getting sued by the SEC. Actually, I can show you. Hold on.
Okay. When you talk about like the Ripple being in with the IMF and all that stuff, like it
Right.
shocks me that they would have any issues at all. Like if they're rubbing elbows with those people, I would think that they'd just have like the free pass or whatever. I mean, I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but yeah,
Well, one of the odd things is that SEC, this lawsuit got filed against them on the very last day of that the SEC chairman, that Jay Clayton, and he was the SEC guy under Trump. And then
right,
as soon as they got out, the very last thing that he did was file this lawsuit. But yet they've been rubbing elbows with them for years, and pretty much what it is a Ripple case, you know what I mean, with the SEC. Anybody kind of knows what that is.
right,
Uh, it's a Security Exchange Commission, is what it is. They decide what's a security, what's a utility, what's, that sort of thing. And it's alleged that XRP, the digital currency that Ripple uses for cross-border payments, has been an unregistered security since 2013, and that the SEC was just getting around to saying so on the last day of Clayton's tenure in December. With this late in the game regulatory determination, the SEC now deems that every Ripple sale for 7 years was an illegal security trade. So it's kind of seems to me like somebody was kind of flipping the bird on their way out the door,
right.
you know. But yet this other dude that was part of that, the Jed McCaleb, the guy that's with Stellar now, he was a part of it, and not once was he ever brought up into any of this, and he's still in custody of, I think it's over 1 billion Ripple, or XRP rather. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
So they're saying that they were selling a security for 7 years and never brought it up that whole time, or it's just something odd.
there's something that stinks about it, but I feel like these things go one of two ways. Either it's going to go in the favor of all the world powers using it, right? It's almost like
Yeah.
they whip them in. Facebook is kind of the same way. It's like Facebook used to just be a thing where people hung out and posted things, and now it's like they correct you on your speech and your language, and that's incorrect or whatever, fact checking, that kind of thing. And that seemed to happen after like Zuckerberg had to show up on Capitol Hill and testify. You know what I mean? So I don't
Yeah.
want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's like maybe this is their way of getting their thumb onto XRP and making it do what they want it to do.
Right. Or maybe they're dragging their feet and trying to create FUD and have retail exit, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was one theory. You can't deny the utility of XRP.
Right.
The transaction speeds are like incredible.
Right.
So no, the hardcore uh, Bitcoin maximalists and stuff like that just really don't like. But it's kind of like tribalism. You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't take any of it for.
You know, yeah, and I've said this before, but you talking to you for the first time after you and I hadn't talked for a while, I just realized like there's a case for it, there's a use for it. Like not everything is going to be Bitcoin, right? But I don't think everything's going to be XRP either. I think we're going to have a lot of different things that we're dealing with. My big thing is I want to get into and I want to learn more about privacy coins. But you know, if I need to move something fast, like I did that the other day, I use Stellar. So, and I probably would use XRP too, but now the price is funky. So, you know,
Well, they love it in South Korea and stuff.
do
They
they
already deemed, yeah, they already deemed it a currency.
really?
It's not a security. There's several countries and that shows, that Ripple doesn't really need the United States, really.
No. So,
Yeah.
do you think that's the way it's going to be? Is like we're just going to have these random currencies that we can do, transactions with from country to country, like above anything else. Like I think about, so I work in the agricultural industry and we sell a product, we sell it around the world. We don't sell that much in the US, but we sell a lot to other countries. And sometimes part of the deal is we'll have to wait for the wire. We'll have to wait for the money to come through. With this, we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So you can almost choose your currency, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a basket of currency. You're going to have the digital euro, you're going to have the digital dollar, and you're going to have the digital, won and whatever and whatnot. And what I believe, you can call me crazy or whatever, but I think Bitcoin's going to be like that measuring stick. That every currency is kind of measured against what gold used to be, and what
Right.
the U.S. dollar kind of playing that role right now, but
Right.
with everything going on. And in a way that gives the U.S. like a lot of power, and we didn't know, like as
Right.
us, the little people, we don't know any better because we never had to deal with the problems in being a third world country or
So
smaller
that
country. So,
that
but
would,
when, go ahead.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense that the United States government will probably, like, if there's the potential to make Bitcoin the world reserve currency, like, is that kind of what you're saying? Wouldn't that stand to reason that the United States would dislike that more than anybody else because the dollar would lose its place?
Wouldn't you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think the biggest problem is if XRP and stuff like that, they were targeting cross-border payments. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like US to China, whatever and whatnot.
Right.
The current system that we use right now is called the SWIFT system, and which is kind of ironic that it's called SWIFT because it takes weeks and it's
Right.
awful. It's a
Right.
horrible system. And have you ever heard of it? Have you
No.
heard of it?
No.
No?
I would.
Well,
You ever hear the acronym for the trucking company, Swift? Sure
no.
wish I'd finished training. Yeah, that's all I could think of.
Well, anyway, the Swift system, it was set up in like the late 60s and hasn't changed since,
Really?
you know. And we've discussed this before. If you can send a text message or I can send a photo to somebody in Pakistan instantaneously, why can't you send money like that? Or why couldn't you send value or
Right.
whatever? You can. With the technology's there. We can do it right now. But if Bitcoin or the United States were to lose that world reserve currency, which they will, it happens in history
Yeah.
every time. Every time, do your homework, pay attention, people. If they do, then they lose the power of. You heard the term weaponize the dollar,
Yeah.
right? Well, what they mean by that is through sanctions and stuff. If they see Iran trading with or some other country trading with Iran or somebody that doesn't play by our rules or whatever, they'll create sanctions and say you can't use our US, you can't use our banking system, you can't use that SWIFT system, not if you're gonna support terrorism or whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of like even in a smaller market, like you're dealing with the guy down the street and your bank's like, no, you're not buying anything from that store, not with our, and you're like, well, shit, dude, I can't, I'm sorry, I can't do business with you because if I do, I lose everything,
Right.
I can't
That's
do business anywhere. So that's what they do, and that gives them a shit ton of leverage. That gives us enough leverage that we produce about 20% of the world's GDP, but yet about 80% of world trade is done through the US dollar.
but that gives
Very
everybody
powerful.
else. That gives especially the people that we've been strong arming. That gives everybody else the reason to want something other than the dollar, right? Because then we can't boss them around. I say we. It's not me. They can't boss
Right.
them around.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Bitcoin looks very attractive to some other countries.
Right.
And I got, man, I can show you guys charts all day long as why the price should be $100,000 right now.
Right.
But you know, it'll happen. There'll be a squeeze. There's going to be a big squeeze here pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's going to hurt probably for us more than anybody. All right. We will check in with you folks later. And thanks for watching. Be sure to use our Voyager code MEHSR8 when you sign up for Voyager. When you spend $100, you get $25 of free Bitcoin, and we do too. And we have a habit of giving that away here. We're going to have a bigger giveaway when we hit 500 subscribers. Also wanted to say that the week of April 17th. We're going to have a special guest on. It's going to be our first guest. So there'll be three of us kind of shooting the breeze about crypto. So anyway, take care. Stay tuned. We've got more content coming out this week.